So TCP and UDP. TCP uses three-way handshake, which it sends to the receiver a SYN, which means hello, are you there? And the receiver says SYN ACK, means yes, I'm there. And then the sender sends again, ACK means okay, I got you, you're there. While a UDP keeps sending requests and responses without verifying whether this data has been arrived successfully or it has been dropped. So, difference between TCP and UDP protocol is the TCP and UDP are the most common protocols in use for data communication. TCP is more reliable, but UDP is faster. TCP and UDP are two different protocols used for communicating over the internet. So the TCP is connection-oriented protocol, while the UDP is datagram-oriented protocol. So the main difference between the TCP and UDP is that the TCP is stateful, while the UDP is not. TCP keeps track of the process and the sessions of the connected clients, whereas the UDP doesn't. TCP is used for reliable communication, while the UDP is used for stream-oriented communication, such as online games or video and audio phone calls. So when you make a phone call, you'll be using a UDP protocol, and you're making a stream of packets is sent and received in real time, okay? But if your connection was TCP, so any lag would mean a quite unsettling in the quality of the phone call. Imagine this. So you're talking to your friend and he is saying, oh, how are you, man? It has been a long time ago. I moved to another city and I got a new job, etc. And what about you? And then he asks you, what about you? So you will be hearing, yeah, I'm fine. And you are replying to the sentence that he had already done with. And then you will ask him something and he will reply to your first question. And then you'll answer the last question. So it's totally mess. I hope I made it clear. And since it's a real-time call, there is no catching up. Better to drop a packet and have a millisecond of silence than sounds of lag. So in summary, TCP guarantees delivery of packets while UDP doesn't guarantee delivery. TCP is reliable and uses stateful communication. So in order for these protocols to communicate to each other, they need a port to talk through. So the ports that we have starts from 0 to 65,536 on each device, on each computer. So network ports are a major factor in network security and cybersecurity in general. For example, you might be scanning a network and you found a port 21 open, which it's FTP. So you might look for exploits for this port, and you can hack actually the entire system through this port. For example, like back in days, there was an exploit on port 21 called Anonymous FTP. So you can log in as anonymous to the system through it. Ports are specifically defined and always associated with a specific type of servers. Like for example, the file transfer protocol FTP is always on port number 21. And the HTTP is always on port 80. HTTPS is always on port 443. Now protocols can communicate with each other separately without making any conflict in the network. Like you might be browsing the internet and visiting a HTTPS web page, or you're using the 443 port and transferring files on port 21 using the FTP service, and you have an SSH connection which is on port 22.